John Wick stands in the center of a room of deadly shadows, a man whose piercing focus and relentless drive have turned him into a legend. In the darkness of night, he finds himself fully alive, each movement measured and purposeful. His eyes are calm, his breathing steady. From the outside, he might seem like a mythical assassin born with extraordinary abilities. But the secret behind John's unstoppable strength is not magic or luck. It is a mindset forged through pain and honed by unwavering discipline. One thing is clear: John Wick's unyielding determination in the face of unimaginable loss shows us how a single person can push beyond ordinary limits. And if he can do it, so can you. This isn't just a story of bullets and blades. It's a story about human potential and the power of resolve. As we follow his journey, we'll learn how to find the same kind of strength inside ourselves. You might watch John Wick in action and think those skills are something he was just born with. Like he was dealt a winning hand in life from the start. You could chalk it up to luck or destiny. But the reality is different. His legend is built on choices. Every day, John chose discipline over despair. Every blow he took, he used as fuel. Each defeat only made him train harder. In this way, his power comes from his decisions, not from any gift of fate. Some people hear discipline and think of restriction or punishment. They picture a drill sergeant screaming. But John Wick shows a different side of discipline. He treats it as a path, not a prison. For him, discipline is about respect. Respect for his goals, his life, and himself. He doesn't feel chained by routine. He feels empowered by it. He wakes up early not because he's forced, but because he knows each day is precious. He trains not out of fear of failure, but out of love for excellence. In this way, discipline becomes his freedom. It frees him from doubt, from weakness, from hesitation. And that freedom of focus is what makes him unstoppable. Imagine chasing a personal dream. Maybe it's a promotion, starting a business, or learning a new skill. Think of each day as a battle and every moment of focus as a victory. John's days are filled with that same focus. He runs through the streets at sunrise, checking and balancing every aspect of his life. Whether he's doing hand-to-hand drills or practicing marksmanship, each rep is done with absolute intention. There is no half-hearted effort in his training. His practice is a crucible where results are forged. And if you embrace even a fraction of that fervor in your own daily grind, you'll be amazed at how far it will take you. John learned discipline the hard way. He was a man who had already given everything, his heart, his home, and found himself left with ashes and silence. When heartbreak nearly shattered him, he could have crumbled. But instead, he let that pain fuel something greater. He drew himself up straight and set a new purpose: to protect what he still had and to honor the memory of what was lost. In the depths of despair, he discovered something most of us feel only once in a lifetime: the absolute clarity of why we must keep going. That clear purpose is the cornerstone of any mindset. When we find our own driving reason, a goal, a loved one, a cause, even the toughest challenge becomes one more reason to push forward, not to give in. In the middle of chaos, John Wick's heartbeat remains steady. Surrounded by danger on all sides, he never loses his cool. He's trained his mind to see the fight, not the fear. He knows fear is just a reaction, not a roadblock. Each time John faces something scary, each time he loads a gun or locks eyes with an enemy, he grows a bit stronger. The more he faces fear, the braver he becomes. You face fears every day too. Maybe it's public speaking, a hard conversation, or a tough deadline. Every time you do, just like John, you become a little braver, a little more disciplined. Think of John Wick standing alone against 10 men in a dimly lit room. It seems hopeless. But at that moment, he stays focused. He spots every advantage, the high ground, the shadows, the timing. He moves like a shadow himself, striking with precision. Why can he do that? Because he prepared for moments like this long before a single fight began. In our lives, we may not have bullets whizzing by, but we have our own battles, deadlines, exams, even personal struggles. In those moments, like John, we must focus on each next step, not on the chaos. That way, we stay in control. Just as he calmly handles each enemy one by one, you can tackle each challenge with unwavering. John Wick doesn't hesitate. It's as if obstacles vanish in front of him because he simply moves through them. He never wastes effort on what won't help. The mistakes of the past and the voices of doubt hold no sway over him. He lives entirely in the moment. If something distracts you or a doubt creeps in, it's because your mind is wandering. You can train yourself, like John, to stay anchored in the next action instead of worrying about everything at once. Lock on to the task at hand and silence the rest of the noise. People sometimes think talent is innate, but look closer. Everything John does is practiced. Every move, every stance, every breath, all come from countless repetitions. He didn't stumble onto greatness by accident. If he ever has a moment of doubt or loss, he simply trains harder and learns more. That's how a legend is built, brick by brick. For every unbelievable feat he achieves, imagine what went on behind the scenes. Days and nights of relentless practice, early mornings, late nights. If he can put in that work, then out of respect for himself and his goals, you can commit to doing a little more each day too. Even in the world of shadows, John has principles, a strict code. He honors the promises he made, he respects the people who helped him, and he values trust above all. In the hunt, he could have taken shortcuts or abandoned those values, but he doesn't. This shows us something powerful. Discipline isn't just about physical strength, it's also about how we treat others. Being the best version of yourself means staying true to your values, even when it's hard. When John stays disciplined in character, his focus stays true. He can't be easily swayed from what he knows is right. When you align your actions with your deepest values, you gain a powerful kind of discipline that feels natural and unstoppable. During his battles, John often gets hurt, but he never quits. Even with broken bones or deep cuts, he presses on. His body feels pain, but his spirit is unwavering. Each time a blow lands on him, it's a reminder of how real the fight is, but also a testament to how alive he feels pushing through it. Sometimes life will throw blows at us too. Illness, loss, heartbreak. It might feel overwhelming, but John shows that strength is what keeps you going. He continues not because he's somehow special, but because every time he hears the voice that says, "You can't go on," he simply doesn't listen. He ignores it. He ignores the weakness. If he can do that, then on our worst days, we too can ignore the defeatist voice and just take one more breath, one more step. You may think you're not as strong as that, but every time you persevere, you prove that spirit to yourself. John Wick's story isn't an exception. It's a symbol of the determination in all of us. You too have that voice inside you that says, stand up and keep fighting. It's there, waiting to be heard. Notice how John moves through pain with a steely focus. He never complains. He never loses his calm. This stoicism isn't because he feels nothing. It's because he has trained himself not to be controlled by his emotions. He feels everything, but he decides how to use it. Emotions can be powerful allies if you don't let them control you. If you let panic or anger dictate your moves, you become weak. Instead, John channels everything into action. He maintains discipline even when stress surges, and in that lies his power. So take note. You can also feel strong emotions, adrenaline, fear, even sorrow, and still stay in control. The more you practice self-control in daily life, the more you'll find that even the wildest emotions won't derail you. In this way, discipline breeds confidence. John isn't just brute force. He's also a strategist. He thinks like a chess player, always 10 steps ahead. He picks his battles wisely, preparing the terrain, lining up allies, and setting the stage. Every move is planned, not wasted. In life, even if our stakes aren't life and death, having a strategy still matters. Whether it's saving for college, planning a career move, or simply organizing your day, approach it like John approaches a mission, with clear goals and preparation. When you set your plan and stick to it, you give yourself an advantage. Just as John wouldn't head into a fight without ammo and a plan, you shouldn't head into your daily challenges without being ready. Discipline means thinking ahead and making the right preparations. You can cultivate this by writing down your plans, checking your progress, and adjusting when needed. John might wear a tailored suit in New York, but his lessons are universal. Think of an American worker. A nurse waking up before dawn, a firefighter running into a burning building, a parent juggling jobs and family. Each one of them, in their own way, pushes beyond limits through discipline. In many ways, their everyday grind is just like John's routine. They load up their tools carefully, medicine, hoses, parenting skills, and go to work without complaining because they know people depend on them. John's story is an extreme mirror reflecting the ordinary heroism we can all achieve. You too gather your tools every day, maybe it's determination and coffee for you, and step into your own battles. In the land of opportunity, the daily discipline you practice, showing up, giving your best, keeping your word, wins the war for success. John Wick's journey is big and bold, but its heart is something we see every day in America. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things by never giving up. John Wick sees his end game clearly, to reclaim a sense of peace and honor. His entire journey is guided by that vision. Without a clear vision, we wander. With a clear vision, even the hardest path is clear. If John had lost sight of his purpose, to avenge his love and protect what he has, maybe he wouldn't have found the strength to push through. Similarly, you need to find your own end game. What do you truly want? It could be a career goal, a personal milestone, or inner peace. Hold that vision like a torch. Whenever you feel weak or lost, look at that torch and remember where you're going. That vision will fuel your discipline. Every workout, every workday, every challenge overcome brings you a step closer to it. John was angry at the world for taking everything he loved. He could have stayed angry, given up entirely, but instead, he transformed that rage into purpose. We all have pain. Maybe we've lost something or someone, but pain can either stop us or drive us forward. For John, pain became gasoline for his soul. That fire in his belly burned so bright that not even the worst forces could put it out. John wasn't afraid of that pain. He used it, and you can do the same. It will hurt, yes, but you can harness it and channel it into your work. Each heartbreak or failure can strengthen your will. Turn your pain into purpose, like John did. For him, it was a chance to honor what was lost. For you, it can be a chance to honor a dream, a loved one, or even yourself. Even in the heat of battle, John doesn't think about dying or winning. He focuses on the process of what he's doing right now. He lines up his shots, moves quietly, and covers blind spots with care. His mind stays on the process, not on the outcome, because that way, the fear of losing has no power over him. We can learn from this by focusing on our tasks each day rather than worrying about whether we'll make it or not. Want to finish that project? Focus on each small step, one by one, not on the final result. Want to master a skill? Focus on the daily practice, not on the day you might succeed. When John trusts the process, his training kicks in automatically, and that's when he wins. If we trust our own process, we too will succeed. The discipline of showing up and doing the work builds the path to victory. When bullets whiz by and chaos reigns, John's face doesn't flinch. That calm is built like a muscle. He looks for cover. He plans the next move. Inside, his heart beats calmly because he's been in training fires before. We also face storms, a boss yelling, exams looming, bills piling up. In those moments, practice staying calm. Take a breath, focus on what is right in front of you, and handle it. The more you do it, the more your heart will remain steady. Discipline, like John's, is training yourself to stay calm no matter what comes your way. John doesn't separate his mind and body, he trains them together. In the gym, he's on mental autopilot, and in a fight, he's fully physical with mental clarity. Every push-up isn't just a workout, it's a meditation. Every trigger pull is done with a mental checklist. He has built a harmony so complete that when action comes, it flows naturally from him. We can adopt that approach. Whenever you exercise, practice focusing on your breathing and form. Whenever you work, remind yourself why you do it and how it fits your goals. By weaving the mental and physical together, everything you do becomes an opportunity to practice discipline and mindfulness at once. This union makes both your mind and body stronger. John rarely shouts if something goes wrong. He simply adjusts. If a gun jams, he switches to a new plan. If he's outmanned, he finds a better position. This fluidity is discipline in disguise. He proves that even if your path is blocked, you don't have to stop. You simply change direction. In life, things often change unexpectedly. A plan might fall apart or the schedule might shift. Remember John's mindset. When one route is blocked, climb over it or go around it. That is the adaptability of discipline. Keep moving forward even if you have to change tactics. Through all his trials, John displays a heart that refuses to yield. It never breaks completely. Every time he is pushed to the brink, he somehow holds on. That never quit spirit is the essence of discipline and mindset combined. You might think you're not as strong as that, but every time you persevere, you prove that spirit to yourself. John Wick isn't unique. He's a symbol of the determination that lives in all of us. In the land of the free, freedom often means choosing our destiny. And John claims his every chance he gets. You can too. With every choice, every step, every sacrifice you make that honors your purpose, your spirit can echo his. None of John's epic fights started in an alley. They all began the moment he decided to stand up again. Each morning was another fight. To get out of bed, to lace up his boots, to aim his gaze forward. The simplest victory was choosing action over inaction. If you've been sitting still, doubting yourself, take a page from John's book and take your first step. The pathway of discipline begins the moment you decide to move. It might be small, maybe writing down one goal, doing a single push-up, or saying no to a bad habit. But that first step is you standing up. Once you stand up, the next step becomes easier. Keep going. John spent years refining his craft. Over time, a single second of reaction time was shaved off his reflexes, and what once was difficult became automatic. That is the magic of accumulation. Those grueling training sessions, the pain, the sweat, they didn't pay off overnight, but eventually they paid off in huge dividends. And guess what? The same happens for you. Every late night studying, every extra mile you run, every early morning you decide to hustle, all of it is cumulative. It builds into something unstoppable. When you finally reach the day your hard work pays off, know that you've built yourself up to be ready, just like John. Maybe you won't be fighting off 7 assassins, but life throws adversaries at us. Financial stress, health scares, self-doubt. John's example shows us that adversity is not unique to famous stories. It's universal, and how you meet it makes all the difference. When something bad happens, he doesn't cry over it. He channels it. When something good is on the line, he fights like hell to protect it. That is discipline in decision-making. So ask yourself, when you face your daily obstacles, how will you respond? Let John's example guide you. Use your discipline to face the fight, to overcome the challenge rather than retreat. John Wick made a decision long ago. He is committed to being the best. Not just the best fighter, but the best at facing whatever life throws at him. Every action he takes with purpose. That level of commitment is something we can adopt. When you commit to something, your education, your health, your craft, you internalize your why. That drive becomes unstoppable. Ask yourself, what are you committed to today? Once you know it, channel all your inner John Wick to honor that commitment without fail. Even John has moments where he waits. He doesn't attack at the first opportunity. Sometimes he hides and observes, waiting to strike when the time is exactly right. He knows that haste can ruin everything. In fact, he values patience as part of his discipline. In our own lives, waiting is part of the journey too. A muscle doesn't grow in a day, and a skill doesn't master overnight. Embrace patience. Keep working steadily, and trust that results will come in time. The discipline of patience means doing the work consistently, even when immediate results are unseen. Over time, that patience pays off. Just like John's patience for the perfect moment made him unbeatable, John is feared by many, yet he remains quiet and humble. He does what needs to be done without boasting. He shows us that real strength doesn't require a loud voice. In America, heroes often serve quietly, like soldiers who do their duty and then go home without fuss. Perhaps your battles aren't public either. You may not be famous, but in your world, you still have enemies. Procrastination, negativity, limiting beliefs. Face them with silent strength. You don't need applause for doing the right thing. Consistency is its own reward. Even a quiet victory is still a victory. John might live in a world of violence, but the mindset he exemplifies is peaceful inside. He knows he has done everything he can, so he doesn't live in regret. If he had regrets or doubts, he'd be paralyzed by them. Instead, he uses each regret as a lesson. After every fight or failure, he adjusts his approach. We can do the same. If something goes wrong in our lives, analyze it and learn, then keep going. Don't let setbacks become excuses to stop. A setback is just feedback for your next move. If John had stayed down after mistakes, the story would have ended early. But it doesn't, because each time he stands up smarter and stronger, so should you. John is just one man, but his actions echo through the world he lives in. His discipline inspires others. People even whisper legends about him, calling him Baba Yaga, the man who comes from the shadows. Even in our everyday world, when you commit to discipline, it ripples out. Your work ethic can inspire colleagues. Your calm can reassure friends. Your perseverance can encourage family. Imagine going after your goal with such total commitment that people around you feel its power. Discipline is contagious. By embodying John's dedication in your own life, you set an example. You become someone who shows others what is possible. Nothing is more motivating than lifting others as you rise. There were points in John's journey when he could have taken a shortcut or abandoned his values, but he didn't. His integrity remained unbroken. When you pursue your dreams, keep that same unwavering dedication to your values and goals. If you're trying to improve, don't cut corners. The quick fix often unravels later. Just as John stays disciplined even when things are dark, stay loyal to your path. Don't trade your integrity for easy gains. In the end, staying true to yourself will make you confident, and your results will be stronger because they're earned the right way. John knows when it's time to fight and when it's time to step back. When a battle is done, he doesn't stay in fight mode. He returns to life. Discipline isn't about working non-stop without breaks. It's about knowing when to push and when to rest. For example, after a tough day, give yourself space to recover. That's part of discipline too. The discipline to sleep enough, to eat well, to avoid burnout. If John didn't take care of himself between battles, he wouldn't last. Building your discipline means respecting your body and mind's limits, then gently pushing them. That balance Work and rest keeps you strong for the long run. Though John's life is violent, there are moments of beauty for him. Caring for his dog or remembering a kind word from his wife. He doesn't dwell only in darkness, he finds light. Similarly, gratitude in your own life fuels positivity. For each step you take in discipline, be grateful. When you overcome small challenges, savor it. Gratitude keeps the heart humble and grounded. It connects you to the joy in your journey even during hard training. This mindset, part of John's quiet strength, will keep you balanced and motivated as you build your discipline. Even though John is mostly on his own, he has allies, people who respect him because of his character. He shows us that you don't have to be completely alone in your journey. Seek mentors, friends, and role models who can guide and support you. Surround yourself with people who believe in your potential or who have discipline themselves. Just as John goes to Winston at the Continental for help, you can seek guidance in your life. It could be a coach, a teacher, or a friend who shares your goals. By working with others, you strengthen yourself. It's easier to stay disciplined when someone is cheering you on. Let people support you and support them back. John's fight is never really over. Each victory chapter ends and another battle begins. Rather than resting on any one achievement, he keeps pushing forward. Think of your own journey like that too. There's always a next level or a new challenge waiting. Embrace the idea of lifelong improvement. There's no final destination, only growth. Even when you reach one peak, there will be another mountain to climb. That relentlessness, a hallmark of John's journey, means you'll keep expanding your potential forever. Celebrate your wins, but then gear up for the next challenge. We might not all wear tailored suits or carry hidden firearms, but we all carry a warrior inside us. John Wick's tale is a parable reminding us that we have strength beyond measure and that every day is an opportunity to train it. Take heart. The same steel resolve that fuels John can fuel you. Start with discipline. Do that extra push-up. Pick up that book. Show up to that early class. Turn setbacks into comebacks. Channel pain into power. Focus on each moment and keep moving forward. You will find, just as John did, that you become unstoppable. The journey to your own greatness, shaped by your discipline and mindset, begins now. Embrace it and become the legend of your own story.